Well, we're out of HOIST again. I see you up there.
No, we've got the powder. We got the big powder packs.
Okay. All right.
But we're out of the pre-mixed bottle. Should be getting close to time for our new drop, though.
We're on a monthly subscription, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Allie upped it for us, so this next one should be a lot more. I told her we like it so much we drink it. I drink it for dinner. If we don't have tea or something, I like something flavored with my dinner. I'll walk in here, I'll grab a bottle and drink it with dinner.
It's good stuff, man. We're loving it. For you guys that don't know, HOIST is our podcast. Well, really 307 Project partner in terms of hydration supplement. And we have been using their products for a couple of months now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really great stuff. It has 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks, 1/2 the amount of sugar, no high fructose corn syrup, no artificial preservatives, sweeteners, or dyes. It's BPA free, made in the USA. And so they fit perfectly with our mission. And they also have a great product.
Mm-hmm.
And we're loving it, man.
Well, let me tell you this. I had a bottle in my range bag, and we went to the range to shoot, and I popped it open. I drank a little bit. I didn't drink it all, put the lid back on. About 3 weeks later, when we went back there with James, I pulled the bottle out, and I took a drink, and I said, James was like, "Oh, there's that HOIST y'all been talking about." And I said, "Yeah." I said, and what I like about it is that it's clear. It's all flavored, but it's clear. There's no dye in it. And I turned it upside down, and there was 3 big old mold spores in it. And I said, "Dang, this mess is molded." But I'd opened the bottle already. And I said, well, I guess that really goes to show about the preservatives. I said, "You ever seen a Gatorade mold before?"
No.
And they never seen a moldy Gatorade.
Yeah. Yeah. No. It's really good with coffee. HOIST and coffee they really complement each other.
I remember you trying that on the...
Coffee dehydrates you and HOIST hydrates you. So
It about even out,
They
right?
taste real good together. So yeah, now you can drink your coffee, take a sip of coffee, take a sip of HOIST, and you're going to maintain your level of hydration.
It's almost like you didn't drink anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So this episode is brought to you by HOIST. Thank you guys for supporting the companies that support the 307 podcast. Hey, man, I love doing the podcast, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you, it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of money to produce the show. And we rely on certain partners like HOIST. We're very limited on who we will partner with, and we rely on our Patreon members. They keep the show alive, man. And that seems to be the it seems to be the natural way of things. There are a small percentage of people that are willing to contribute to keep things moving forward. In all aspects of life, it's like there are a small percentage of people who are willing to sacrifice some little part of whatever it is. Even goes back to the lesson that we learned on the basic course that we talked about with Becca picking up the balloon. It's like those people, you guys that support us on Patreon, you're so valuable to us. And our partners like HOIST, you are valuable to us because you allow us to do the show, which in turn, hopefully, helps hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it works. And
if you guys don't support the products that support us, they're not going to support us. They're going to say, nobody from your audience is buying this. We're going to discontinue ads.
So if you get something from the podcast, there's basically 3 things that you can do that we would ask you to do to be a contributor to the show so that we can keep doing the show, keep bringing people on the show, and keep pouring time and effort into this. 3 things you can do. You can support the companies that support the show, like HOIST, by purchasing their product. They give us a pro code. I'll attach it in the show notes of this episode so you actually get a discount. You can join us on Patreon, where we do a lot of fun stuff. And the third thing that you can do, if you're not able to do those other 2 things, which I totally get that if you're not, is share the show with somebody and leave us a review on iTunes. That doesn't cost you anything, but it does help the show grow. And so that's the 307 podcast lowdown on how all this happens. Did y'all know we have to make a living too?
Yeah.
And we are definitely not independently wealthy. I think some people might get confused sometime. We are not independently wealthy. No. And yeah, this is the 307 project. We are a podcast at a training company. Mm-hmm. That's what we do around here. All right, welcome back. This is just going to be a short episode. I was kind of at a loss for what was, I don't know, what I wanted to talk about. I'm just feeling super chill this morning. But something that has been on my heart, and I guess I've mentioned it a few times, is I mentioned it one time at the very end of, I think, our last podcast, and then I mentioned it on a post the other day, and it is this all of the things that you see being said about this Leah Thomas person that is the male swimmer that has decided he wants to be a female, and now he is swimming against the females, and he's crushing all of them. And man, a lot of people are just all about this, man. And you know, I can see like definitely why that makes people upset. And I think it's for me, it's determining where, if you're upset about this, you're concerned about this, like, where do you direct that anger or frustration? Well, you should not direct your anger or frustration toward the person, this Leah Thomas. I don't, it feels weird for me to even call this person Leah Thomas. I don't know what their male name is. And I think it's really easy to direct some of that anger and frustration toward this person. And I see that happening. I mean, I see people making fun of this person and just talking mad crap about them and all this stuff. And it's like, man, this person is obviously not in a good place. Like the rest of us, this person is broken, and this person is extremely confused. You know, I'm not a medical professional. I can't diagnose this person with any mental illness or whatever you want to call it, but this person is very confused. And how would you, any other person out there that is sick or confused or not in a good place, how do you treat them? You don't make fun of them. You don't put them down. You don't talk crap about them. You try to give them the things that they need to get better. Mm-hmm. And you know, ultimately that's what this person needs. I could only imagine where this person is at mentally. If you want to direct your anger or frustration toward something or some group of people, direct it toward the leaders of the organization that is allowing this person to compete alongside these females. Mm-hmm. Right? They're the ones that are determining the rules there. It's I guess there's an organization that runs the swimming competitions. Yeah. I don't know anything about swimming. I don't freaking care about swimming. It's about the least important thing on earth, in my opinion. And so direct it at them. But, like, don't get mad at this person. And ultimately, why is all this happening? Well, you guys, I know a lot of you guys feel like we're living in the Matrix here. A lot of you guys probably feel like that when you're like, what is going on? Like, how are people this confused? Well, for a lot of you guys listening, it's partly your fault. It's partly your fault. All of this stuff, all of this transgender, all of this transsexual, all this homosexual, all this pedophilia, all this stuff, it all falls under the same umbrella. It all falls under one umbrella: sexual perversion. It is the perversion of how nature dictates sex, the act of sex, and also your biological sex, right? It all falls under sexual perversion. And it all started with society basically accepting homosexuality as a thing. And by what I mean accepting it means that nobody can touch it anymore. Nobody can dispute it. Nobody can say anything about it. It really all started with that.
Well, even above that it's embraced now. Not that
that's what
nobody
I mean.
Can, yeah.
That's what I mean by the acceptance of it. And like, you've got people that are really, really, I mean, I don't know how you could be any more confused than if you're confused about how biological sex works and functions. It's so cut and dry. And so many of you that have chosen to embrace these, I guess you would say, more culturally acceptable forms of sexual perversion that have been around for now decades, many of you that have chosen to embrace these things, it's partly your fault that now it's gotten to the point that it's gotten where we are actually discussing the acceptance of pedophilia, when we're actually legitimizing a confused decision to say you're a different sex than you are, and we acknowledge that as something that's real. It's all, if you said, well, I can accept this level of sexual perversion, and you thought that it would stop there. But it just keeps degrading. And we're almost to the lowest level that it can degrade to. So, if you're one of those people, you need to think about what is your posture been toward all these sexually perverse lifestyles over the last however many decades of your life. What has your posture been about them? And here's the thing: when I talk about posture, I mean it doesn't look like you freaking putting these people down that are confused and broken and just whatever you want to call it. I mean, I automatically want to call it mental illness, but a lot of people could, I think, take that the wrong way. Like I'm now putting these people down. Yeah. No, I mean, this is the same. It's like addiction, man. It's like addiction. It's really easy to put an addict down and think of them as just the lowest form of life and just a totally destructive turd of a person. But in all reality, there's a beautiful human locked in these people somewhere. They're just bound by this sickness, by this disease. And so how do you treat them? You give them the tools that they need to get better. You be honest with them, right? And you support them and you help them recover. That can be done. So yeah, you need to think about your posture toward all this stuff over the last few decades. And it doesn't look like you going out and marching up and down the streets and putting these people down. You should feel grieved that they're having to deal with this, man. Like, it should grieve your heart, and you should, if you ever have the opportunity, be there to support and love and counsel these people in a loving way.
Yeah.
And just be there for them, man.
If you have that feeling toward people, I mean, you got to do some self-assessment, because if you're a Christian and you have those feelings, you're going to want to say, no, I don't have those feelings, because you know it's wrong. So you got to do like a real self-assessment. And if you do have those feelings, we can't tell you how to get it, like how to treat that person. We can't tell you how to get over that. And really, it just has to be revealed to you that if you're doing that, then you have just as much a heart problem as that person has a heart problem.
Yeah.
Now, to the degree of repercussion that it causes on earth may be different, but your heart is messed up just like theirs is, because if you're treating them that way and you're a Christian, then it's totally wrong. It's totally wrong. And you think there's a beautiful person inside of an addict. There's a beautiful person inside of a sexually confused person. There's a beautiful person inside a murderer. Look at Saul, who was then Paul in the Bible. And so there's beautiful people inside of everybody, and you got to look at everybody that way. We've talked about the reason we talk about this topic, and we won't rehash it. But think about that with everybody that you come into contact with, and it's a heart problem. It's not you. People always try to treat the symptom of what the problem is, and not actually get at the heart of it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm qualified to talk about this transition in the way that you look at people, because I've been there, man. Like, there was a time in my life where, like, I was vehemently opposed to homosexuals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a time in my life where, like, I couldn't tolerate. I didn't because of the posture of my heart. I wouldn't tolerate being around them. Like, that's where I was at. And man, it's been such a progression to me to now treat these people as I would treat any other human. They're absolutely no different. They're just really they're really struggling with something. And I think it makes it hard, man, because people are either play acting like there's nothing wrong with it, or people are either hating on them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't get anyone in between. That's just like, there for them.
Well, how can you hate on anybody? If you are hating on other people, you think that you're better than that person. That's all there is to it. If you think less about somebody else, that means you think you're more. And that's the first problem. I mean, you cannot hate, as you want to call it, on anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. Imperfection wrong is wrong, bad is bad. And so you think you're good, and that's pride in your heart. And that's why you're attacking the other people or group of people. And to see it for what it is, just like you explained, is where it all has to start. But nobody can learn this for you. You got to do your own work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a good friend of ours said the other day, I don't realize how many people this sexual perversion is affecting. A good friend of ours said the other day, hey, they have a young child, and the young child of theirs has a good friend that has been a lifelong friend of that child. They've been best buddies, and that friend basically the other day said, hey, I don't know what gender I am anymore, and I don't know what sex of people I'm attracted to anymore. And this is like a 12-year-old kid. And it's crazy because nobody knows how to act. Everybody's like, well, how do we treat this situation? It's like, sit this child down and give them loving counsel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, let me help you understand what the not only the biology of your sex and sex entails. It only can work this way. but also from a biblical standpoint, help them understand why we were created this way in terms of sex.
Yeah.
It's all there. It's like, sit this person down and lovingly counsel them and explain this to them instead of just not knowing what to do and then just doing nothing because you're scared. You're gonna you're not gonna offend them if you genuinely lovingly counsel them from a place of caring for this person's health.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's definitely better to do something than nothing, and it's worthwhile to tell them the logic behind things. But I have seen it in many other occasions to where you try to explain logic to someone about an illogical thing, and a kid may be different because maybe they really don't understand it. But an adult, they really already know the logic, but it's illogical, and so it's not going to change anybody's mind. I think but maybe a kid, because maybe truly they don't understand.
Yeah,
it.
the kid, I think, is just really the confusion starts with what they're seeing around them.
Ignorance. I mean, they don't know.
Yeah, in adult, I think it is a totally different approach. Yeah. I mean, you could sit an adult down and try to do that with an adult person. I mean, what would the approach be with an adult? I think it's just one, being a loving presence in their life, right? Showing the love of Christ. It even goes back to that dream that I had. If we're saying these people are actually, if you want to say sick, and when I say sick, don't take that the wrong way. Don't mean like I'm being like, oh, that's a sickening person. No, I mean like sick, like with something, like with a disease, like just being there for them, loving them, showing them the light of Christ. Because if somebody has a sickness, if somebody has cancer, they don't have the power within them to rid themselves of cancer.
Yeah,
like it's gonna take treatment, or it's gonna take some divine intervention to heal this person from this sickness. So the simple logic of it is probably not going to change their mind.
Yeah.
You just have to be that light. You are a light, man. You are a light, and that's who you have to be around that person. You have to pray for that person. You have to love that person, and that's the best thing that you can do, I think, for an adult, which is that's the method that I've taken with the people that are suffering from this sexual perversion that are in my life and in my family, right?
Yep.
They're welcome at my table. They're welcome at my house. I treat them as I would treat any other human. That's it. So that's all I wanted to say on that. We won't keep beating that dead horse. Ultimately, if you're feeling frustration and anger about this, I understand when you're looking at something that is really, really confusing, it frustrates you, but don't direct that at the person. And in terms of this sports thing, direct it at the people who run the organization that makes the rules. They're the ones that are accountable. And look at yourself and what is your posture toward these sexually perverse lifestyles from the top down, because it's going to keep snowballing.
Yep.
And have some courage, man. That's all I got. Enough said.